these from Go Pup, and one of them results in a win on one of these early maps. Shift, Avril, take it away.
Thank you very much, Bakasaurus Rex. We really appreciate you taking your time to come back into the present day. But here's the thing. Again, Avril, we talk about it very regularly when it comes down to the caliber of between these two teams. There is a slight gap, I think, in a lot of people's minds. But that said, Renegades, they have been very well rehearsed over the last couple of weeks. And a lot of it has been on the backside of players like Winsum, who has been playing extremely well, mostly on Duelist. And Retro has had a very good close qualifier so far. So those are my two players that I'm specifically looking at. And how about this? Renegades are going to gamble full stack over to B immediately. TSM is going to be mostly stacked at the high ground. Flashpoint will allow them to try to come down, but Berghy finds first blood, Retro a second, and Renegades will have an opportunity to get the spike down early at B.
Yeah, slightly late to the party here for TSM. 3 members surviving. Hazed, by the way, starting out on the Viper. Hazed has had a lot of nice things to say about Viper in the past in terms of the usability of that character. However, this doesn't look like the round that TSM will be able to get too much done in this toxic screen for the retake, but 1 HP on drone is not a good sign.
Subroza, hazed, trying to do things from different sides. And as Hazed was trying to deal with the sentry turret, he will be taken down. This is a really good fault line, though, and that'll lead to drone for 1 and a second. 2v2, time becoming a problem. Subroza needs to make his play, but as he does, CP2 will find the kill. And a single point of health for drone will likely not lead to much, and Berghy will find the kill as he falls down to the low ground. Renegades with a beautiful opening, and they do hold on, even though drone gave him some consideration with a really well-placed fault line.
Yeah, nice and quick that round came through. You saw Renegades just full aggression, full confidence, all the way on to B. TSM caught with the pants down for the opening pistol now. Be very interested to see where Hazed goes, of course, still on that Viper. He's going to go towards B. I believe he started A last time. And Viper on this map. I mean, this is probably the most viable map for Viper so far. Both teams will be moving towards, you know, the Killjoy as well, just to talk about compositions a little bit. No Raze on the side of TSM is probably the biggest missing piece here.
Yeah, it's very true. It's not very often we see that, but we've seen teams like Cloud9 try to pull off the Viper pick, and Hazed is going to try to replicate some of that action. And, well, this is an aggressive peek from Subroza, and the third challenge will be his last challenge, as CP2 will find first blood.
Straight up mid, yep. There's going to be a lot of info towards what's happening over on B Heaven. Flashes are good so far. Winsum should be able to get the clear HP, though. Needs to look for the trade here coming through from the rest of his teammates. They do so, drone. Last one alive now. He had a 1v2 before, 1v1 before on 1 HP. Now it's a 1 versus 4, and he'll get taken down very quickly. That is a standard anti-eco from Renegades, just losing the 1 member 2 rounds into it. But this is where things will get interesting. Finally, the guns will come through for TSM.
Look, so far in the First Strike series, Renegades have played split every single competition they've been in, with the only exception being the match versus the Slimy Boogerman yesterday. And in that, they have won 60% of their attacking rounds. So the fact that they take the pistol in the following, that's a great start for them. You're going to need to be successful on offense versus this TSM squad if you want to have a chance, because defensively on split for TSM, they typically win around 65% of their defensive rounds. So if you're able to keep that closer to 50, 45, you're feeling good statistically. What that means here, though, is you would love to make this third round competitive when TSM will have a full purchase of ARs and you're mostly still stuck on SMGs.
Here we go. Wardell's going to be the man of the hour here. He's got a lot of people within the sight lines. It's 3 kills quickly from TSM. Just the 2 alive now coming through from Renegades, backing out of the situation over towards B main. The spike is still in their control at least. But it start with 2 rifles. So the good news for Renegades are CP2 and Berghy, with their Phantom and Vandal buys, still have those in hand right now. We need to find some isolation kills. If they go towards A, currently Cutler's the only one there, but information limited for Renegades.
Berghy mid-map is going to have to find somebody over-peaking. You feel like if you want to have a chance at this, you're going to get CP2 making the long rotation through sewer. There is only just the solo Killjoy of Cutler sitting over towards A, so there would be an opportunity for numbers to overwhelm, but you'd still have to be really clean trying to take that spike site, and beyond that, you would also need to try to find a way to work yourself up top. And there's just not a lot of time to do both of those things, and as you're seeing, Renegades is kind of biding their time mid-map. It looks like they're just going to save out these last 30 seconds.
30 seconds
Renegades go for a very aggressive play once again over towards B. No chance to, or at least no time for them to look towards the left. Didn't see Wardell. And now the save is going to come on through. As a reminder, by the way, folks, I'm sure you already know this one, but we're on patch 1.10, so that means you are going to get full money on saving here. Renegades are going to be able to potentially drop 2 guns in the next round. It's going to be the, I guess, expected win for TSM on the 3rd round, considering it is their gun round, it is their buy. Renegades I don't know if you could say they're hurting that much either. They'll be able to keep a couple guns alive, and their next run should look still pretty decent.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that, yeah, it's not the greatest start for you, but you hold on to a couple ARs. It keeps you competitive, right, going into round number 4. If you just flat out lose that round, you're likely on a light buy, if not a save, depending on how many numbers you're able to survive with or even take down on the other side for TSM. So this is actually a pretty okay situation for Renegades. They'll be able to go into another gun round coming forward. TSM will still have hazed, who will be purchased for, so they will meet them on that same level playing field. But at the same rate, you also now have the ability with Retro on 4 kills to have the potential of a Blade Storm. Might not be needed here, but will hazed be caught off? And yeah, okay, he's going to read the information. Back up, Snake Bite and Poison Cloud will be put down. Retro's going to go right through this, though, and he's already on site. If he can find one, it would be incredible for the effort. He's trying to spam for the second, but at least he's able to stay alive. hazed not going to expect the second challenger to be coming around the back from the spike site. And Renegades, I don't know if they just caught TSM off guard with the weapons they were able to buy into this round or what, but they again cleanly take the B site.
Well, it definitely caught TSM off guard in terms of the members of where they're holding in terms of anchoring here. For TSM, it was just hazed over towards B. Tried to hold that one solo, but Retro and Winsum beat the timing. Still 2 plays alive for TSM. The retake is looking very unlikely, despite Wardell getting 1 kill onto Retro. 4 is still alive. Showstopper is also available should things get hairy, but Winsum will find the trigger. Onto Wardell from behind, and Renegades 4 alive, 3-1 on the scoreline. hazed unable to hold on his lonesome, and TSM with only 1 member over towards B early on, they're going to get run over.
And I think at the same point, one little thing to keep in mind is the fact that Winsum, after the B site was taken, backed up and then re-wrapped around mid to get onto the high ground. We were very critical of Renegades and their post-plant setups yesterday, being very one-dimensional. And even when they had numbers advantage, it didn't lead to as much of advantage as there needed to be. So the fact that they're already starting to take away more of the map on these post-plant setups is encouraging if you're looking for at least some sort of a bounce back here as far as Renegades cleaning things up. TSM now will be in a bit of a troubling spot economically, but they will have the ability to go straight over towards a Blade Storm. Retro's going to be able to push forward. Cutler trying to hold on, and Drone actually is able to find first blood. Now Cutler from the site. He'll take down the Showstopper. Nothing there for Winsum. Beautiful hold so far for TSM, and Wardell will find the 3rd kill with the Blade Storm up close and personal.
TSM look like they're pretty comfortable this round now. And every single round that we've seen so far seems to go fairly one-sided in some cases, where one team will get a large number of kills, and the other team just feel the hurt. And there's Berghy and CP2 once more, the ones that are alive. Another 2v4 situation. Showstopper being shut down is so huge. You also notice, by the way, Renegades, after showing a lot of B aggression, this is their first proper A hit. You also didn't see that, by the way, for TSM. Subroza went over towards B this time. They had a double anchor over there. Wardell started dropping off of A after seeing no early aggression. Yeah. Renegades maybe just waited a few seconds longer. Wardell would have started making his way over towards B. They would have a better chance going on towards A, and Renegades might still want to go for this one.
You got to remember that we've seen this play from not just Renegades, but other teams in the past. When they got the Showstopper, they'll double blast pack up to the high ground instead of trying to go through A ramp. That's the second time that we've seen that in the last 2 days, and it has not come through successfully. So there's something to be said about maybe where this one-dimensional push for Renegades was coming from. You see all those red X's as we fade away from the minimap. They were all right down A lobby, straight onto A. There is nobody even trying to play for A tower. So just something to kind of keep a note of. Not trying to criticize it at the moment, but we'll see if that will continue to be the case when Renegades decide they want to go over to A eventually.
That's the thing as well, Renegades, I mean, you're right, they have been mostly stacking up over towards B main or A main. They haven't had too much mid control. They haven't tried too many splits. There's going to be a Retro coming through the Blade Storm this time around. Money's starting to dwindle a little bit for Renegades. As TSM catch up, it's 2-3 now, nice and tight early on. And Spike is committed over towards A, but it will be a bit of a fake from Retro on towards B.
Double cloud burst. That's actually going to get Wardell into a position to where he's got to be pretty careful here. All the shots from hazed are going to be good enough to clean things up, and Wardell actually, I don't even know if he gives away his full position, but that's all just bait. The spike is making its way over to A, and Winsum will take over the A tower this time. Drone, is his position known, though, is the question, and looks like it was, as Winsum will finalize the kill, and the bait play just from Retro alone is actually going to be successful for Renegades now in a 4v2 post plant.
Winsum also backing into Drone. First play that turns around, spots together, does get that kill. It's another 4v2 situation. Viper's pit into play as well. This will help hazed get onto site with Wardell. Time is going to tick down fairly soon. They need to find these kills. Berghy down nice and early. Still 3 alive. Most of them offside, most of them outside of the Viper's pit. Challenge for randyySavage will be successful. And now Wardell, 1 versus 3. Low HP coming through for randyySavage, but Winsum will get the trade necessary. Winsum will get the kill, secure the bag as well as we move forward to round, number 7.
That's a great little paint shells play as well. You just put it right back in the corner to where he's got no exit. You has to push right past the line of sight. It's a pretty easy secured kill from there. So again, just as to re-hit it one more time, Renegades have been very successful on their offense to the tune of 60% conversion rate when they play split. And so far, so good to try to keep that statistic up. On the other side, TSM has also been very resilient defensively. So now that they have a rolling thunder, will they have an opportunity to potentially use this? And you saw Drone for a moment there had the hands out early, trying to potentially consider the middle of the map, and he will keep it up. And interestingly enough, Renegades are going to send 3 members through the mid-map. So if they could get information, this could be a gut check call, and here it is. Subroza is going to be here with this play. The Rolling Thunder will be good for at least 1 kill. Everybody else, though, from Renegades will stay safe as they back up towards Sewer and towards the mid-market. And even beyond that, Berghy's allowed to get a trade, so we go 4v4.
Hazed has also pushed them over towards B main, so they have a lot of information. That's why they felt the confidence to put the Rolling Thunder down mid. Players surviving, though. Only Winsum went down. A nice counter flash coming through from CP2 just to keep TSM locked up to try and follow that Rolling Thunder. Opportunity for Subroza, though. Tries to see if he can catch any plays through the smoke. He will get flashed out. That's really unfortunate as he can't even make it out alive. Retro gets that kill, and Renegades have a 1-man advantage.
Wardell has to find 2 here. If this push to Renegades continues to come through middle, he needs to find 2. He avoids the first flash. That's going to be number 1, but no, Retro's able to duck underneath of it. And now immediately it's going to be a rotation, get up towards a tower, which, okay, hold on a second. Cutler's actually fully set up for this play. He's got the alarm bot, he's got 2 nanoswarms, and he's got his sentry turret that's now going to be activated. So for Renegades, if they commit to this, Cutler could actually find a lot of value here just by holding his life in the backside of this billboard. Gonna be able to find the first. That's the spike carrier down. 20 seconds to play. Renegades are going to be starting to overwhelm. Hazed is on the rotation, but he's going to be late. And Cutler getting spammed through this board will actually find a second kill. Now you're down to 11 seconds. He's going to find number 3 to the classic, not going to get CP2. The time will require CP2 to pick the spike up and immediately plant. Snakebite will be tossed out, and we're going to get a 1v1.
Cutler has done all he needs to do just to hold on for as long as possible. Hazed making his way over from B. The 1v1 contact should just be imminent right now. CP2 turns it, flicks it. Headshot connects, and Hazed cannot win the situation. Cutler does so much heavy lifting over towards A, gets 3 kills, allows the 1v1 opportunity, but it is CP2 and Renegades that come out on top in a 5-2 lead to get things started on split.
You got to give a lot of credit to Cutler. I mean, that's a heck of a hold for him to find 3, and then the timing was just barely not good enough to allow Hazed to get the opening beat, and, well, maybe the other side is just barely good enough for Renegades to lock things up for CP2, who's now 5-1, by the way, with 5 assists. A great start for him, and now with the Rolling Thunder, Renegades could really start to take over this first half as they're already up 3 rounds.
You're seeing a little bit more info gathering as well. TSM have seen that there was a lot of stacking coming through from Renegades, something we spoke about already. Hazed is checking out B main. No information there. And TSM's read so far has been correct. 3 players over towards mid. 1 anchor on either side. A little bit more defaulting from Renegades, though. You do also see randyySavage over towards A. You might find a 1v1 versus Drone. Things get a little bit hairy.
Point of contact's going to be made up top. Paranoia's going to come through. Subroza, good for the first. Oh, if that cloudburst doesn't come through, maybe he locks the second as well. But a brilliant first blood for him. Winsum, though, up top on the balconies will take down Hazed. Subroza now going to be rotating back around the back side. This is good information, but he can't quite get the angle to lock a headshot, and Winsum will find a second kill. And as Randy watches the flank, it looks like Renegade should have no problem getting the spike planted, and they'll likely take the 6th round here, pending something incredible from Wardell and Drone.
And it is only the eco coming through for TSM, so we're not expecting too much here. Plenty of ultimates alive for Renegades. Also 5, or rather 4v2. Seems like we're getting a lot of 4v2s today. And, well, the team that has 2, typically, I mean, they haven't really won many of those, have they? Whether it's Renegades or TSM. Drone does have a stinger up. Maybe looking for exits could be the play. I mean, they're definitely going to go for this one. The question will be, how much contact can they find? And how many kills can they get? And how much damage can they do overall? Because I'm pretty sure Renegades walk away with 6 here.
It's just a little interesting. I mean, TSM right now are playing for exits, but this is not your traditional exit pathway for Renegades, especially considering you don't want to give away any rifles, so you might as well just retreat back towards where your spawn initially was. So a bit strange to see TSM maybe not play more aggressively through the middle of the map looking for any kind of an exit strategy, but They will at least hold on to what they have. Not that that's really much of consideration whatsoever, but 6 rounds for Renegades early. They have already split the half at worst, which is great news for Renegades. And even beyond that, you've got the lockdown from the Shadows and still a Rolling Thunder to play coming into this next round in which TSM will go the full purchase up.
And the important thing here is Wardell finally has an operator in hand. So this will be the test for Renegades now. They've had quite a few round wins. Can they get 7 though? You wouldn't need 7 to win the half. They're on the victory path now, but the path does start sloping up a little bit. The incline getting up there is Wardell. This is the play we're looking out for. Nobody will be walking into a sight lines early. Hazed just trying to get some spam damage in there again. Early info towards B main. Very important for TSM.
Early snakebite could be placed down, but players for Renegades will just push through it. You're going to get a lockdown. This is a bait, though, for Renegades, and a counter lockdown is going to be placed. TSM are going to try to keep these 2 defensive members planted on A. Not a lot of information was gained over towards B main, so it's really down to Hazed. He's going to have to hold this for as long as humanly possible. The snakebite is going to be able to stop this for a while. But Renegades, they actually aren't able to convert and execute call in the back end of the baited lockdown, so TSM can actually now rotate away.
From the Shadows over towards A as well. Don't know if that's going to be committed. Certainly yes, and Drone catches Berghy. So that's your opening kill that you need if you're TSM currently. Both lockdowns, as we say, expended. That's just a 1-for-1 trade on the ultimates. No winners or losers in that exchange. TSM, however, lost a lot of the utility coming through from Hazed. So I believe both snakebites are gone, and Wardell finally gets a customer, but goes down. Okay, CP2 through the wall.
Not often you see that interaction go the way of the player who's battle up against Wardell. But now Renegades with 20 seconds. They only have 1 member to deal with. It's just Drone. From the Shadows, it's going to be plays. This is Subroza going to commit to this A long, but Drone can't even find a single kill. And now on the backside, Winsum reads Subroza beautifully. Renegades, how have you pulled this back at the last second? It's a 2v4. You still have a showstopper. You still have the ability for a Rolling Thunder if you need it. But as Hazed starts to make his way in with his Toxic Wall, he's going to try to take over the top side of A. And Cutler really can't do anything until space is cleared for him to move on to the site itself.
And TSM are in a real bind right now, in a real pickle. Do they save here? Do they go for something? There's also an operator on the floor where Wardell's body is over towards Vents. I mean, this looks like 7 already. This looks like a very successful round for Renegades. It didn't start that way. Again, they lost a player early. Berghy ult straight into Drone. The CP2 opening things up versus Wardell over towards mid. The rest of Renegades rushing over on A. Drone can't hold on to A by himself. Can't quite do the miracle work similar to what we saw Cutler do a previous round. And there it is, Renegades. And the best part about this for Renegades is they get to walk away still with 2 ultimates. Rolling Thunder and Showstopper still in the hands. They can definitely play into that a little bit later on. Maybe this round, maybe a following round. TSM will have another operator at least to work with.
And, you know, maybe you don't get what you wanted for Renegades out of the bait play with the lockdown, but at least you were able to pull out the lockdown of TSM. So now they're empty from ultimates, and they're going to be for a while unless Drone can find a way to get things going and maybe earn himself a Rolling Thunder. But this has been a great start for Renegades. 10-5-3 for Winsum. CP2 has only died once. He's 7-1-6. So this is exactly what you want if you're Renegades, as far as, again, the statistical battle between both teams over 60% respectively for their defense and for Renegades on their attack. The good news here for Renegades is not only have you pretty much passed that part, but you're at a position now where you have to deal with TSM and maybe even stretch this lead a little bit further. Opening trade will come through as Renegades quickly make their way onto the A side, and TSM will be forced to consider how do you retake with no ultimates.
And straight away, they've locked Wardell out as well. Flash is coming on in full execute. Multiple smokes being placed. And a lot of control being given over towards screens. Look how many Renegades players are there. Off-site as well. Look at CP2. Rolling Thunder at the ready just in case things get out of hand. TSM need to use a lot of util to get in. They might have 1 flash available via Subroza. Holding it out now. That paranoia has to do work.
This is taking a long time to come through, and Retro will find 2. Not going to get the 3rd, but it's a 2v2. You still have the Rolling Thunder at Berghy, who's playing from onside the site. It's going to get timing onto 1. You don't even need it, but they're still going to use it just to secure round number 8. It's just Wardell left with the operator. Can't lock down where CP2 is positioned, and Renegades are up 8-2.
And I'm going to retroactively go back a couple of rounds here as well, Shift. I said back then, the lockdown trade didn't end up favoring anyone. And now I actually think it favors Renegades slightly more because they have not needed things like lockdown to get onto site. We look at this particular round, they can rush straight on there, they get the execute done, they push Wardell off the line via a flash, smoke it up as well. But losing the defensive lockdown from Cutler and TSM, that definitely hurts a retake. And the retakes have been a little bit rough for TSM so far. The previous one that we did see as well exemplifies that one. I think losing drone early is quite hurting as well because you want the extra flashes. Only having the one paranoia coming through from Subroza, not enough.
Aggressive play for TSM. Subroza's trying to just use Haze as a little bit of bait for some opening kills, but they realize that that is not a safe play anymore. Berghy will throw a counter paranoia out as we still have this battle going on over towards B main garage, but looks like both players will back away, and Wardell up top has to respond to two, and he does. Beautiful pickups for Wardell. That's weapons on the ground. And now Renegades, what do you do in a 3v5 situation with 60 seconds to play?
I think this is the first time we're seeing so far in this half where the team that actually has the guns are kind of losing, and maybe a successful force buy / half buy from TSM. As the gun upgrades will be there, you see Hayes going over there to pick something up. Wardell will have a rifle now as well. Drone gets a kill on the Randy, and this is falling apart. Renegades had full equipment walking into this one. They're stuck between a rock and a hard place. You feel like maybe Cutler knows something's up. He certainly does. Drone's here as well. The flash comes through and the cleanup will follow. One alive now. Retro versus 5. I don't know if Retro's going to get anything done. Might want to go for a cheeky plant or something just to secure a little bit more extra money, but his life will be forfeit.
Spike does go down successfully. Retro, this would be probably one of the more incredible 1v5s we've ever seen, and he will only take down one. And so it won't be flawless for TSM, but they're going to be able to upgrade every single weapon to an AR, which is incredible for them to try to bring this half back and make it at least salvageable. You're going to want to try to get this up to 4 if possible. You put yourself now in a position to where that is plausible, especially considering the fact that you do have a Rolling Thunder coming into the next round. So they've got the tools needed, they've got the weapons, they've got a decent ultimate for potential hold-off or retake. On the opposite side, you're just looking at the showstopper that could potentially find some openings. And then beyond that, both of our Jetts do have Blade Storms to play with here in the last round of the half.
Speaking on the other side as well, not going to be flawless for Renegades on the half in terms of winning all the rounds they're supposed to win. This is going to be the first eco win. And that has been a bit of a problem that we noted yesterday. So far, it had been a fairly clean game for Renegades overall. Yeah, they did drop a couple of rounds earlier on, but, you know, TSM are going to be able to do that. It's TSM after all, but even versus slightly document, Renegades had been dropped in ecos. Here comes Hayes versus quite a few. Subroza down, and there it is. Just as TSM start to get on the board, they drop 2 members.
And there was just no utility there. I mean, maybe a couple of things were thrown out, and you didn't really get a full look at how that battle started, but I didn't see a paranoia come out, didn't see a dark cover come out, didn't see a snake bite come through. Winsum is just going to absolutely punish Cutler, and he'll find the 4th onto Wardell, who I don't think he found a single operator kill in that first half, which is not boding well for TSM. That, as we mentioned, they were at 65% defensive rounds won. Their offense so far through the first strike qualifiers, only 42%. Not great news for TSM here in map 1.
The instant replays provided by GoPuff here, as, you know, we start things out super aggressively. Remember the first couple of rounds here, Renegades fairly clean, just rushing straight over towards B. They didn't even hit A for the longest time. Drone does a great job in terms of his little play with the fault lines, but I mean, overall, this is another really important play as well. Cutler really sets things up nicely for Hayes, for the potential for the 1v1. CP2 gets a snap on, and for what it's worth as well, Hayes did fight first, just unfortunately whiffs a couple of those shots. And this is a great half from Renegades, and you even see for TSM, despite winning the half buy on, round 11, they can't quite get it done on 12. In fact, they kind of fall over for number 12, so the opportunity to get 4 and 8 slips by them.
How about this opening play? And this is just good scouting. Hayes loves to lurk over towards A by themselves, and Renegades, I think, just took notes away from the first time they played. Now over towards A. Heaven, Randy for 2. Berghy gonna try to get a double of his own, and a quick, flawless round for Renegades. They're already on double digits, looking at possibly 11 in the following.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be ridiculous. TSM have to force here. I don't know if they can afford to not go for the force. It's just out of rounds, out of time. You talk about Renegades making the right read over towards A. How about towards B as well? Berghy drops the fattest paranoia onto, 3, 4 people?
Yeah.
It just catches everybody, and then Renegades go for the chase. They know they have the advantage. They get the kills in there, and it's a thing of beauty. TSM now, look, they did win a half by previously. We did see Wardell on the Bucky with success previously, but that was on the defense. That's where Wardell gets to hold up aggressively over towards B Tower. Now that they're on the attack, TSM, what are they going to do? Go aggressive on towards A, they get one kill.
And how about this? It's again one of those strategies that we talked about that hazed loves to kind of lurk by himself offensively towards A. TSM realizing that Renegades are aware, they just overwhelm and they take 2 kills. So now it's going to be a 5v3. That said, though, you've got Wardell and hazed that are on tragically low health. Wardell going to be playing with just a Bucky. He's going to have a hard time clearing up the A towers by himself. Unless Retro decides he wants to lurk closer over towards this connector, they'll be on opposite sides of the wall from one another. But while this has all occurred, the spike has made its way on, and TSM should be able to get a plant.
Renegades, what are the options here? One opening kill is going to be decent. They need to secure more than this, though. The trades are still somewhat favoring TSM. The HP bars, not so much so. So Renegades can maybe find Drone and Wardell. We're about a one-shot away. Currently, that would be really doing wonders for their retake attempt now, as tap on the spike comes through as well. 1 versus 2. Does Randy go for the half here? Needs to win this 1v1 because Wardell's also low, but I think time's just working against him. The opening couple of kills via hazed is going to come out pretty clutch for TSM. Myth breeds a sigh of relief as well for TSM as we start heading into further rounds. And crisis averted for the time being. TSM should be able to secure a second off the fact that Renegades did buy into the previous round. The anti-eco unsuccessful. And TSM will be up 5-10, barring any major mistakes coming on through or any major plays from Renegades.
You got it. I don't know if it was more of the time being the issue there for Renegades than the possible diffuser or the position. And where that spike was placed, it allowed Wardell a chance to make his way over towards elbow. You know that there's not going to be a contest for when you hear someone toggling that spike diffusal. You should be able to move up pretty freely, and that double pinch was eventually going to come out. This time, Renegades are going to try to triple stack over towards the middle, maybe even throw a 4th member into the mix. But against Spectres and Bulldogs, this is a dangerous fight to take. You're going to have to win some trades, and Subroza is going to be freed up by a flashpoint. Counter flash comes through, but Subroza will take care of the second, and Wardell will find Berghy topside B tower. TSM looking flawless thus far.
Yeah, they'll be able to go where they want now. They shouldn't even really lose any members. I mean, they might just lose a member to something like a randyySavage Sheriff Shot, but at this point in time, they've secured all the opening picks they needed. They've dismantled any sort of holdover towards mid. The last couple of players alive for Renegades, just trying to look for some positioning. Retro looking the wrong way down the stairs, and that's Randy by himself. He will be able to receive a few more plays. Can he land the shot? So the answer is no. Subroza, 4 kills this round. From the shadows available now nice and early, and TSM get the expected 5.
So now moving forward, you're going to be getting Renegades on a full purchase for the most part. A couple members will have to zero out their economy. That could lead to some weakened utility from Winsum, and then light armor for both CP2 and randyySavage coming into what will hopefully be the 11th round for Renegades fans out there. But on the opposite side, you're still in good fighting condition if you're TSM right now. Would love to see hazed upgrade this light to a full armor just to get a little bit of extra health on the table for him. But it just comes down to, is he going to continue to play on this solo mission? Looks like this time it's going to be TSM initially stacking over towards B Garage, and there are 3 members for Renegades that are here, including of which is CP2. So the ability to get flashes out will be very strong with him in combination to Berghy.
This could be a really big play. Renegades are going to be set up for this one. They know it's going to be a hit coming through from B main now, and that's where the kills come through as well. 2 alive now. It's always, for some reason, you look towards the Omen and the Breach plays, but this time it's Subroza and Drone, so those 2 players are at least fairly deep right now. One of them is. Subroza's all the way over towards spawn. He goes down, Drone on his lonesome, 1v5, and unfortunately TSM are not able to bring this one home.
Yeah, it's just a gamble stack for TSM, right? I mean, you're just trying to open things up with smokes and flashes, get onto the B site quickly, hope that Renegades aren't there. The problem was Renegades was there, and you kind of wonder, again, you got to remember that these 2 teams played each other during their open qualifier runs last week. I think that was the end of the run for Renegades. They lost this to TSM, but won this map. So you wonder how many notes were pulled. You know, okay, we know that Renegades like to stack. Maybe on the other side, Renegades are saying, we know that TSM on a weekend buy likes to rush through B main. It very well could just be a set play that Renegades are aware of to give them their 11th round, but take away from what you will. TSM is now in a position to once again get the operator on the table with full ARs behind it, and this is a must-win round, you feel like, for TSM here if they want to have a chance at this comeback.
100%. TSM need to win as many gun rounds as possible. They need to force as many gun rounds as possible. They can't be relying on stuff like, you know, trying to win through ecos or the half buys there. TSM was probably unfavored in that previous round, despite the setup from Renegades. But this is the one. This is the one that keeps TSM in it. If they win, if they give 12 over to Renegades, I mean, we might have to start thinking about next map early.
TSM starting to position over towards Hazed's direction. You've got Subroza, who's already made his way over towards mid-vents. Depending on the timing of how this hit comes through, he could get a kill for free, maybe even 2, depending on how the position for Renegades starts to maneuver here defensively. Winsum is up top, and with him is randyySavage. You're also going to be getting CP2 moving from B to A, and TSM still stacked. There's the dark cover. That will likely mean there's the XQ call as well. Toxic screen being watched by Hazed. Winsum, he's very considerate what could be coming over towards A ramps, but no one seems to have an idea that Subroza is back over towards vents. There's good action here, at least in the next couple of seconds. Wardell will be flashed out. Cloudburst will keep him alive. Tailwind tried to come away from the paint shells, and he's able to avoid most of the damage. One more Cloudburst down, but he's not going to be able to survive through the boom bot, so Winsum for the first blood, randyySavage is second. You just got to hope that Subroza can find something, but he's got to go now.
He also triggered the alarm bot, by the way, so they know he's definitely there. Drone will get a kill as well, and randyySavage shuts Subroza down. Retro onto drone. A couple of kills do come through, but it's not enough. Renegades secured 12, and that was a full retake as well, Shift, because, I mean, Renegades had 3 on site roughly. CP2 did rotate from B towards A. You can see how happy the Renegades players are. TSM get what is a free plant, 4 members directly onto site. Subroza tries to come through. Vents fairly late. He was going to be the lurker. And Renegades just cleaned up. They mop up the A site, mop up drone and Subroza, even though they get a couple of kills. And now maybe they'll just be mopping up the first map. We talked about how important Split was going to be for Renegades. They know it. And TSM not looking great on the opening map. They'll give it one last go. Full force by operator back in the hands of Wardell. We need to see something coming out of this because pretty uncharacteristic from Wardell so far.
And just to kind of hit it one more time here for Renegades, the cleanliness of that retake was the fact that they didn't allow an exit for TSM. They take away the defensive screens, they take away A main with Wardell trying to watch over it with an operator. The only place they could be is on the site. You just use your utility and play your numbers game to get on through. TSM this time will get aggressive. Nanostorm will find a bit of damage onto Subroza. Not going to stall too much of this hit as the spike will make its way on. It's Drone who's carrying it. He'll throw it into the very top right corner of the minimap. And the Renegades are not here initially for a quick retake. So you've got the potential to start setting things up for what needs to be a Rolling Thunder here. You feel like Winsum, though, through the smoke will find 2? Are you kidding? And now Hazed is trying to make his way over, but you've got the defensive lockdown that's coming through. Rolling Thunder going to be played. Drone has to push through this. He finds 1, snaps to a second, not going to get a 3rd. But Winsum trying to make play out of the showstopper, also going to come up empty. 2 HP for Retro in the 1v1.
This one's going to come down to the wire. Cutler's got full HP to work with, though, so you do really think that TSM should be able to win this one. Outside of any extreme shots come from Retro, the knives will go miss. And for Cutler, that's going to be the 1v1 secured. Oh my goodness, that came down really, really close. Wins some of the opening 2 frags. He survived, by the way, on 3 HP for the longest time. If it wasn't for Drone and Hazed coming through via the Rolling Thunder over through screens, securing a couple of kills, and that could have gone awry as well, considering the counter flash from CP2 did catch a couple of them. TSM, if it wasn't for the last 1v1, if it wasn't for the fact that I think Retro, comes through on, like, no HP, that could have still been Renegades, but still just holding on right now. TSM surviving by just a flicker of hope. That's what they need.
Well, how about the immediate adjustment for TSM? They got trapped the last time they hit A on the site. This time, they send 2-3 members through defensive screens. They want to make sure that there's some sort of an exit. And then on the backside, it frees up space for Cutler to stay alive over towards A main because Renegades have to clear off their defensive spawns. This time, though, it's going to be, again, TSM aggressive, off the rip, trying to make their way over to B, and the trades will favor them. 2 for 1 it goes. And with that, Subroza will also clear up CP2. We've got a 4v2, and TSM, again, will get the spike down quick.
Oh, here we go. That's the kind of round that we need from TSM because Renegades are finally low on members. Again, I don't think the team that's been on the 2 side of the 2v4 has actually won yet. A lot of ultimates in play as well for TSM, and things get really bad. The Viper's Pit lockdown are there. Plenty of members off site. Plenty of members still holding site. Hazed, though, could be first point of contact here. Doesn't realize there's one player over towards heaven. Here we go. Swings on him. Winsum starts to whittle down the numbers of TSM for the possible retake.
That's a great paint shells. Drone's gonna fall, and he gets a second! No way! Now onto the site. It's just down to Subroza for a 1v2. All he has is the shot is cover charges, and Winsum is gonna stick for the defuse. Forget everything you knew! Renegades take map 1 versus TSM.
Oh my.